This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and I'm joined today by Jimmy and Lisa Cox from Find Us Camping, actually. And I'll tell you something. We did find you, and you're sitting outside your beautiful RV in 92-degree heat in West Virginia. So we appreciate your time and staying cool for us. We appreciate that very much. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Well, it's great to have you. And we were looking over things, and we saw that you guys do a lot of RV reviews and keto recipes and all things camping, if you will. But I looked on and I saw some pictures, and man, I'll tell you, some of the food on that page looks unbelievable. I made the mistake of not having lunch before we did this, and instead looked at the food on your site. Now my stomach's not liking me very much. It's growling. That food looks amazing. So you guys do a lot of cooking on the road, I guess.
Yes, we try. We do like to eat out sometimes too, and just check out whatever the local vibe is. But you know, you don't always want to eat out. Sometimes you want to eat like you would at home.
Yeah. Now I see keto recipes, but some of that food didn't look exactly keto to me. But I don't know if I'm qualified to comment on that. Can you explain a little bit about what you guys do?
Sometimes I have to cheat. I have to cheat a little bit. I'm not 100% keto like she is. So.
And we haven't always been keto. It was just within the last probably 9 months that we've switched to that way of eating. So any pictures that were before then, you know,
those are the good pictures.
Yeah, you never know. But we try to find good keto recipes that taste good and look good too. So it's a challenge, but it's a fun thing.
I got you. Yeah, I saw some of those pictures probably from the pre-keto days, and man, I'll tell you, pretty wicked stuff. So who's the cook, or you both cook? You both cook?
So if we're cooking inside, it's probably going to be me most of the time. His domain tends to be the grill or smoker or the Blackstone. So if it was cooked outside, it's probably going to be him.
You know, that seems to be a running theme. It's like, you know, guys and grills, man. That's it. You know, that's the big thing. And what are your specialties, Jimmy?
I do most of it on the smoker. We do a lot of smoking, so we do the pork butts and the briskets and all that kind of stuff. So when we can carry the smoker, we'll do a lot of the smoking on that. The rest of the time when we're with the Blackstone, we just do our normal stuff, our steak and our hamburgers and stuff like that on that.
Yeah.
So
Lisa, steak and cheese. Gotcha. And Lisa, you're more the sort of the gourmet, you know, I would imagine stuff that's a little more, takes a lot of prep.
Things that require prep and don't require you standing outside when it's 100 degrees over the hot grill.
Yeah, or doing an interview for that matter.
Yeah.
We're speaking
right.
with Jimmy.
Unfortunately, with the air conditioners humming inside, it'd just be too loud for us to be in there. So we have to. We have to deal with the sweat for a little bit.
Well, we'll try to make it as painless as possible. Jimmy and Lisa Cox are our guests from Find Us Camping. Tell us a little bit about your Instagram page and just in general, and the sort of the genesis of Find Us Camping. What was the inspiration for kind of getting that rolling?
So we started out as weekend warriors with all the kids in tow, and the kids are grown up now. And so we get a lot of questions from friends and family that are at home when we're out traveling, and, you know, what do you see? What are you doing? Where are you going? So it started more or less as a way to post things up so that you weren't texting pictures or videos to a dozen people. You just put it out there, and everybody can see what you've got going on and what you're seeing. And then it just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah.
And now it's more of helping others while we're out there, because a lot of people want to know when we're here, you do this and how do you do that. So we figured we would start doing more videos of that and putting it on Instagram and all that kind of stuff, so we can help our fellow RVers while we're out there.
Yeah, and I definitely want to talk more about that, because that is something we hear a lot of on the show, and we talk about the community all the time, and how friendships are forged on the road and almost like an extended family. And it's just it's pretty cool stuff. So we'll talk about that on the other side. Our guests are Jimmy and Lisa Cox from Find Us Camping. This is the RV Advisor podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. We'll take a quick break. Back in just a moment. The RVACA is a charitable organization protecting the rights of RV owners. With your help, we'll work with dealers and manufacturers to ensure quality controls in place prior to delivery of an RV. Additionally, the RVACA provides assistance to disaster relief victims. Visit rvaca.org. We are back on the RV Advisor podcast. My name's Tom Alexander, and my guests are Jimmy and Lisa Cox from Find Us Camping. I want to keep saying Find Us Camping. There you go. You guys do obviously a fair amount of traveling. You're in West Virginia right now, but you obviously are out on the road and full timers. What are some of the highlights? Some of the places you've visited recently or relatively recently? Of course, we're dealing with the pandemic, but what do you guys? Where have you gone?
So most recently we've been to Indiana. So we went up through Ohio, stopped and visited some friends that we met RVing. So there's that community thing again. And traveled to Indiana, came back down through West Virginia, met another couple that we know from camping that we met on the road. And then at the beginning of the year, before the whole pandemic started, we left Virginia and traveled all the way down through the bottom states, across all the way to Arizona, back to Tampa for the RV show, and then back home. So those have been our biggest trips away this year. We've done a lot of just local camping in the middle, of all of that.
Yeah. Well, that's being out on the road, it's a different adventure for everybody. But the one common thing is like we said before the break, and you just mentioned the community of everything and how people are just, it's almost like you've known these people your whole lives. I mean, you share common interest, obviously. And so, right. and maybe similar backgrounds and passions and what have you. And it just falls into place. It's just those kinds of relationships, just they happen so quickly. Before you know it, you're best friends and you're traveling and, keeping up on each other's lives and everything. It's awesome. How have you, you mentioned, how you've helped people. You've been doing this a while now. And I know that maybe some new RVers may be unfamiliar with certain things or things to look out for, or fixes or glitches, or even recommendations. How have you helped people? How have you found that going, and what kind of stuff have you helped them with?
Well, so on our YouTube channel, we try to do campground reviews, which is much a newbie type of help, but we try to do a drive-through at the campground and show it from an RVer's perspective, not from the park's perspective. Sometimes the park wants to point out things that aren't as important to us, and vice versa. And then along the way, the people you meet, and not even always newbies, just a lot of times you'll meet people that have been doing it for a while and go, wow, I never thought to hook up my water that way, or I never thought to level using that particular item, or just anything you can do to help somebody else, whether it be storage, hooking up, a specific part or utility, that you can recommend, that you have found, sometimes painfully found.
I mean, even after 15 years for us camping, we still learn something new every single day. We still do. When we go to campgrounds, we look at reviews. We watch a lot of videos. We learn what the campground's going to look like before we get there. So that's where we've come around, and that's what we're trying to show and teach everybody else, not just, like she said, the newbies. And we're old. They said we've been doing it 15 years, and I still want to know what the park looks like if I'm getting in there at 5 or 6 o'clock right before the dark gets there. I want to know if my 45-foot camper is going to make it inside that turn. So we do watch a lot of videos, and we do read a lot of blogs, and we learn from others too. So anything that we can help other people out there, that's what we're here for. So yeah,
and you Lisa, you'd mentioned from your perspective versus the park's perspective, and I found that very interesting. What give us a for instance on that? Like,
Well, for instance,
Have you ever seen a hotel picture before?
Yeah, you know
got
what?
the best picture you can ever have.
You get sucked in by the lobby, don't you?
Right? Online, it looks fabulous. And then you show up and think, this is not what it was supposed to be. And so with campgrounds, of course, they're going to show you online, or their review is going to have the pool or the mini golf. What they don't
I even look good online.
Yeah. What they don't show you is the potholes in the roads, or that the sites have so many trees, or they're so narrow that if you have a longer unit like ours, it's going to be hard to navigate.
Yeah.
Or maybe the electrical's in poor shape, just that kind of thing that you don't find out till you get there.
Yeah.
And
you're
there then, and you're just having to fight or deal with it, fight the back end process that takes 10 minutes instead of 3, or deal with the potholes in the road and the tree branches that are dragging down the side of your RV. That's the kind of things that we have found as RVers. That's what I want to know going in.
Yeah. Well, that certainly makes a lot of sense. And look, I'm not saying that some professional reviews, no matter what it is, whether it's an RV park or a movie or a record album or whatever record album. I sound like I'm 95 years old, but it's whatever it is, pro reviews are good because they're somewhat educated, experienced reviews. But then again, if it's coming from the actual person that's putting it out, it can obviously be very biased. And, a lot of times the people experienced RVers, or, in your case, someone who's been obviously doing it a long time, I think has a pretty honest, educated, critical, but fair.
Right.
We're not going to
there are people. Yeah. Yes, there are people out there that are just out to assassinate everybody. They don't care. They'll just, and obviously you certainly don't ring of that description whatsoever. Yeah. But there are people that do that. But you know what? It's important, I think, to get those kinds of feet on the ground kind of experiences that you don't often get from the actual park itself. Right.
Right.
And of course, we video everything, so we can't lie about it. You're going to see it as we're driving around. So we
absolutely,
we have the GoPros in front, GoPros in the back, and the drone in the air. So you're going to see everything that we see. So we can't hide anything. It's there.
Right. Exactly. Do you guys have a favorite place anywhere that you visit? Was there one place that you want to go back all the time?
Well, it depends on who you're talking to. She's want to go back to the Keys. She loves the Keys.
Every time. It's always my first choice.
We've never camped out west, out in Montana area, but we have been to Montana. So I think I want to pull the camper out there one time. So, it's going to be a long distance from Montana to Florida, but.
Well, that's true.
But the Keys, what's better than the Keys?
Well, we're in South Florida. And even for us, it's a long drive to Key West. We're just north of Miami, and it's still a haul just to go to Key West. So I can imagine, coming from West Virginia or Montana or wherever you're, it's a haul.
We're scheduled for Thanksgiving to take her back down to the Keys so she can see her feet in the water, and she can enjoy the manatees and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, there you go. Look at that, Lisa. You're all set.
She's going to get what she wants anyway, so I might as well take her down there and sweat a little more.
I think you should keep this guy, Lisa. I think you got a good deal going there.
If she wants to get the camper down there, she better keep me a little longer.
Well, listen, we really appreciate your time coming on, joining us, and sharing your stories. Again, let folks know where they can follow you.
They can follow us anywhere on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we are on our village now. We have our own page on our village too. So that's getting a little bit bigger. I don't know if a lot of people have heard about our village, but we are moving a lot of stuff over there because it's a lot easier to, instead of having 7 or 8 different social media pages, it's easier to have one. That way we don't miss a lot of comments and a lot of people talking to us. So we are on our village a lot more than we are everywhere else besides YouTube. So basically any social media page, we are there.
Excellent.
Find us camping and you'll find us.
Yes, find us camping. And that is Jimmy and Lisa Cox. Well, we really do again appreciate you coming on, and would love to have you on again next time from during a time where it's not as hot. So it won't be from the Keys.
Pick us up in the Keys
Right.
because we're going in November. So pick us up in the Keys. We'll have a better backdrop.
We'll do that, and hopefully we'll even, who knows, if you're traveling through our neck of the woods, which is on the way to the Keys, maybe we'll even do a live show with you and say hello. So
That would be fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
it.
It'd be great to meet you.
Awesome.
We'll be coming through on Thanksgiving.
Very good. Well, until then, safe travels, folks, and stay well. And we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
My guests were Jimmy and Lisa Cox from Find Us Camping. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.